I don't know this man. She said it into the microphone like a death sentence. Calm. Controlled. Like she'd rehearsed it. My heart stopped beating right there on stage. It was supposed to be the happiest moment of my life. The big reveal. I was finally going to step out of the shadows and claim my family in front of the world. The world that adored her. Loved her. Worshipped her. Vanessa Gray. America's sweetheart. The face of 1,000 perfume ads. The voice of every self-made woman's speech. The woman who used to cry into my chest when casting directors rejected her. My wife. And the boy next to her, clutching her hand and blinking under the studio lights like he didn't recognize me, that was my son. Our son. I'd spent 7 years loving them quietly. 7 years hiding from cameras. 7 years smiling from the sidelines while she climbed her golden ladder. Now she looked at me like I was the help who had overstayed his welcome. Please get him off the stage, she told the producers. The crowd went still. Whispers. Murmurs. Phones raised. Cameras zoomed in. The host blinked between us. Wait, are you saying this man isn't? He's a fan. Or an obsessed ex, she said, her voice light but clipped. I don't know. But he is not my husband. I laughed. Actually laughed. Because if I didn't, I might have collapsed. I could see my reflection in the shiny camera lens. I looked like a madman. Like a stranger who had stormed the stage. But I wasn't. I was the man who paid for her acting school. Who cut umbilical cord with trembling hands. Who memorized her favorite coffee orders, who held her through miscarriages, who kissed her dreams into existence. And she erased me. On live television. But what she didn't know, what no one knew, was that I had proof. I didn't come here to beg. I came here to end this lie. And I was about to turn every camera in that studio into a witness. People say time heals everything. But time didn't heal the part of me she abandoned. It only preserved it, like a wound stitched shut too soon, still festering beneath the skin. I met Vanessa Gray before anyone cared about her name. Back then, I was just another burned-out film school grad working freelance gigs, stringing together odd jobs to keep the lights on. I was directing a small indie commercial in a freezing basement studio when she walked in, late, shaking, clutching a folder of headshots too cheap to even lie about their quality. I'm sorry, she said, her voice trembling. They wouldn't let me in without representation. I just want 5 minutes. She wasn't stunning in the way cameras liked. She was something else. Raw. Real. Terrified and hungry. So I gave her 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes turned into 3 takes. Those takes landed her the role. And that role? It led to everything else. We were both nobodies, back then. The crew barely paid attention to us. I lived off instant noodles and caffeine, editing footage at 3 a.m. She slept on my broken couch before she ever slept in my bed. It wasn't love at first sight. It was something heavier. She made me feel seen in a way that didn't feel performative. In the beginning, she held me like she meant it. Not like a woman needing protection, but like someone finally safe enough to fall apart in someone else's arms. After the film wrapped, she didn't leave. She just stayed. One night she looked over at me and whispered, "Don't ever let me lose myself in all this." She got pregnant 6 months later. I still remember the way she held the test in her hand like it might explode. I can't do this. Not now. My agent will kill me if he finds out I'm even dating someone, let alone. We eloped the next weekend. Vegas. A $20 bouquet. She cried through the whole thing, saying it felt like a fairy tale she wasn't supposed to have. We made a pact, we'd keep it quiet. Just for a while. Until she was established. Until people respected her for her talent, not because she was a mom, not because she was taken. I agreed. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself that love was stronger than public image. So I took the back seat in our life. At red carpet events, I wasn't invited. At interviews, she always said, "I'm focused on my career right now." And when our son, Jamie, was born, she told people he was her nephew. The walls of our home were filled with baby giggles and whispered apologies. She kissed me every night and said, "I'll tell them soon. I just need a few more months." I waited 7 years. 7 years of hiding behind tinted SUV windows. 7 years of helping her memorize lines while cooking dinner with a baby on my hip. 7 years of sending her flowers anonymously to maintain the illusion of a secret admirer, because her fans expected it. And I did it. I did all of it. For her. For Jamie. For us. But somewhere along the way, the woman who clung to me in fear of losing herself became someone else entirely. The calls started late at night. Quiet, cautious, but always suspicious. I never asked. I wanted to trust her. Then I started hearing Carter Quinn's name a lot more. He was the lead in a film she landed, a romantic drama she said would change everything. And it did. First, she stopped coming home as often. Then, she stopped calling. Jamie started asking questions I didn't know how to answer, like, "Why doesn't mom come tuck me in anymore?" Or, "Why does she smile more when Carter visits?" One night, I found a tabloid cover while grocery shopping. Vanessa Gray, Hollywood's hottest starlet and her secret single life. Single. I went home, put Jamie to bed, and waited. When she walked through the door past midnight, I confronted her. "It's PR," she said, brushing it off like dust on her jacket. "It's all fake. You know how this industry works." But I didn't know anymore. I didn't recognize her. She smelled like expensive cologne that wasn't mine. She didn't meet my eyes. That night, I started backing up emails. Call logs. Contracts. Every message, every moment, archived. Not because I wanted to use it. But because I finally realized something I should have known a long time ago. She was preparing for war. And I was just waking up to it. I always believed betrayal would be loud. Explosive. Some screaming match, a broken glass, doors slammed into drywall. But mine arrived quietly, wrapped in velvet PR and fake smiles. It started 3 months before the live TV ambush. Vanessa had just landed her biggest brand deal yet, a family campaign. Mother and son. She said the agency insisted on using Jamie. At first, I was proud. My son, our son, smiling on billboards. I thought, finally, she's acknowledging our family. But things didn't feel right. Vanessa grew, cold. Distant. She wouldn't look me in the eye. She started correcting Jamie when he slipped and called me "Daddy" in front of the staff. "Sweetie, you know we use Nate around people, remember?" She smiled when she said it. So gentle it chilled my blood. Jamie, 6 years old, nodded like it was normal to pretend your dad was someone else. That night, I couldn't sleep. I scrolled through social media, and there it was, a photo shoot teaser, Vanessa, glowing, holding Jamie's hand. The caption read, "Rising star Vanessa Gray opens up about raising her son alone." Alone. I stormed into our bedroom, phone in hand. "Vanessa, what the hell is this?" She barely flinched. "PR. The brand wants a single mom angle. It's aspirational." My throat burned. "You told them you're a single mom?" She got up from the bed, walked to the vanity, calm as ice. "It sells better. That's the industry, Nate. You know that." "No. I know you. And this isn't you. She turned slowly, mascara wand in hand, and said flatly, maybe you don't know me as well as you think. Something broke in me that night. I started checking her emails, ones I technically had access to as her manager, though she'd sidelined me months ago. I wasn't trying to catch her in anything. Not yet. I just wanted to understand. Instead, I found a folder titled Rebrand. Inside were contracts, drafted statements, PR planning decks. A full narrative being constructed from the ground up. The goal was chillingly clear. Phase 1, establish Vanessa as a single mother overcoming adversity. Phase 2, introduce Carter Quinn as a longtime friend who had been there all along. Phase 3, slowly transition Carter into the role of father figure, publicly, emotionally, legally. Phase 4, erase Nathan. They didn't even have the decency to codename me. Just, Nathan, issue to be addressed. Like I was a typo on a perfect script. I sat there for hours, reading every bullet point, every stage timeline, every manipulated narrative. She was planning to delete me from my own son's life. It got worse. Attached to the final slide of the deck was a scanned paternity claim, unsigned but ready. It stated Carter was Jamie's biological father. The blood in my body turned to frost. She wasn't just planning to rewrite our marriage. She was trying to erase Jamie's truth. My bond with my son. My entire existence. And Carter, God, Carter, he was in on it. The fake smiles on red carpets. The too tight hugs with Jamie. The stories about how close we've always been. I thought it was branding fluff. It was a hostile takeover. I could barely speak the next day. I sat at breakfast while Jamie munched cereal and Vanessa scrolled through her phone like nothing had happened. Every word felt like a lie. Every breath she took near me was a calculated move. That night, I stood at the doorway to Jamie's room and watched him sleep. He looked just like me. The same brow. The same way his foot curled under the blanket. And yet she wanted to rewrite him too. I knew then. This wouldn't be a private confrontation. This wouldn't be solved in therapy or behind closed doors. Vanessa had chosen the public as her battlefield. So I would respond in kind. I spent the next 2 weeks gathering everything, photos, birth certificates, wedding documentation. More than that, I started screen recording calls. I set up a voice-triggered recorder in our home office. Vanessa had a habit of pacing there while on the phone with her team. One night, jackpot. He's not going to fight back, she said. Nate's weak. He still loves me. Always has. She laughed, and added. Honestly, Carter is better for the brand. He's hotter. People want us together. Jamie will forget Nate eventually. Kids adapt. I replayed that file 7 times. By the end, I couldn't feel my hands. She thought I was weak. She thought I would let her win. But she forgot something. I was the one who built her. The one who carried her while she climbed. I knew her rhythm, her habits, her tells. I knew exactly how to dismantle the empire she built on my silence. And I was done being silent. I didn't want revenge. I wanted justice. And I was going to get it, live, in front of millions, with the world watching. I thought revealing the truth on live TV would be the end of my suffering. But betrayal doesn't end with the knife. It starts there. The moment Vanessa pretended not to know me, my world didn't just shatter, it inverted. Logic failed. Gravity flipped. And the life I thought I built became a stage set that someone else tore down behind the scenes. At first, there was chaos. Screams from the audience. The host stumbling to salvage the segment. I remember standing on that stage, frozen, as security moved toward me. Jamie clung to my leg, silent, confused. He didn't understand why his mother was acting like we were strangers. Neither did I. But then the real nightmare began, the media storm. That night, by the time I got home, my name was plastered across every headline. Unknown man crashes talk show, claims star is his wife. Disturbed fan hijacks live segment with fake family claim. Actress Vanessa Gray shaken by stalker's public stunt. Stalker. That's what they were calling me. Vanessa didn't just deny me. She disowned me. Then she weaponized her PR team and let them carve me into a monster. She posted a tearful video that went viral within hours, red eyes, trembling hands, claiming I had shown signs of obsession, that I was confused about the nature of our past friendship. She knew exactly what she was doing. She wasn't defending herself. She was rewriting history, and doing it with perfect, Oscar-worthy conviction. What hurt the most wasn't just the betrayal. It was watching our son in that same video, coached to nod and say, "Mommy said he's not my dad." I vomited when I saw it. I hadn't eaten all day, but the bile still came up like betrayal had its own taste. My phone didn't stop buzzing, friends, colleagues, tabloids. Most messages were variations of, "Bro, is any of this true? Why didn't you tell us? Please tell me you're okay." But some were worse. "You're sick. Stay away from that child. Creeps like you belong in jail. We're reporting you." I tried calling Jamie's school. They told me he wouldn't be coming in until things settled down. I wasn't on the authorized pickup list anymore. Vanessa had already moved fast. She'd erased my parental rights in the system. That's when I knew, she had been preparing for this. She didn't just deny me in the moment. She had plans in place. She anticipated this day, she just didn't know I'd beat her to the punch. I spent the next 48 hours indoors, curtains drawn, watching her spin the narrative. Carter, of course, emerged next. He stood beside her in another video, claiming he and Vanessa had reconnected as friends, after childhood, and that life had brought unexpected gifts. He was referring to my son. They made a whole origin story out of it. 2 stars. Reunited. A child born from complicated pasts but raised in love. It was sickening. And it was working. I scrolled through comments. "This man is crazy. Poor Vanessa. He's clearly obsessed. Look at his eyes. Didn't he used to be a PA or something?" Figures. Even people I once worked with started distancing themselves. The industry is merciless when you're no longer a safe bet. My best friend, Derek, the man who was my best man at our secret Vegas wedding, was now ghosting my texts. He worked in PR and knew how powerful Vanessa's new agency was. He was scared to choose a side. Coward. But it was what I discovered next that cracked me open. I had an external hard drive filled with all my documentation, marriage certificate scans, Jamie's birth certificate, email threads, security cam footage, and Vanessa's voice recordings where she admitted everything. Gone. The drive was missing. I tore apart my apartment. Overturned furniture. Ripped drawers from their frames. Even checked the freezer, because people do weird things under stress. It was gone. And I didn't misplace it, I knew exactly what had happened. I remembered inviting Derek over a week before the live show. We were drinking wine, talking strategy, and I showed him everything. "I've got backup files," I told him then. But I lied. That hard drive was everything. And now it was gone. Later, I saw a leaked article from a minor gossip blog. Source confirms, stalker's claims were fabricated using AI. Voice deepfakes and documents forged. They were using my own evidence against me, saying it was fake. That confirmed it. Derek sold me out. For a paycheck. Or a favor. Or access to power. Maybe all 3. I sat on the floor for hours, staring at the broken lock on my storage drawer. That red folder I had guarded like a lifeline. Useless now. I wanted to scream. Wanted to burn it all down. Wanted to give up. But then I heard Jamie's voice, one of the old recordings on my phone. He was 4 at the time. "I love you, Daddy. Don't tell Mommy I said that." It broke me. And it remade me. They took the evidence. They silenced my truth. They painted me as a villain. But I wasn't finished. Because I still had something no PR team could fake. Her voice. Saying things the world wasn't supposed to hear. And I had just enough fight left to make sure they did. Revenge wasn't just about getting even. It was about reclaiming my voice in a story where I'd been written out. She thought she could erase me like a bad line in a script. But I was the one who wrote the first draft of her life. And now, I was writing the last act. Phase 1, Preparation, the Archive of Truth. The moment she denied me on live television, I knew it was war. Not rage-fueled. Not impulsive. Strategic. Calculated. I didn't scream. I didn't storm out. I smiled, walked off stage, and began building a fortress of truth. First, I catalogued every piece of evidence I had. The Vegas marriage license signed in shaky hands. Noah's birth certificate with my name etched as father. Videos of his first steps, me holding his tiny hands. Voicemails where she whispered, "I'm scared of the industry, but I trust you more than anyone." Every file was duplicated onto 3 encrypted drives. One with me. One mailed to Trish, my old film school friend, now a powerful media attorney. And one in a safety deposit box registered under a false name, Nate Vale. A cruel joke. Then came the phone recordings. The one where she told her publicist, "If Nathan ever opens his mouth, we'll say he's mentally unstable." No one's seen them together anyway. The one where she told Noah, "Daddy's just your friend, sweetie. Don't confuse people, okay?" Those ones hurt the most. But pain was my fuel. I knew better than to drop everything at once. A slow leak bleeds the loudest. I sent a 9-second clip to 3 tabloid outlets. In it, Lila sat on our old balcony, wine glass in hand, saying, "Nathan's the only man I'd ever raise a child with. If the world knew, they'd ruin us." No context. Just ambiguity. Just enough to stir suspicion. Within 12 hours, Twitter was on fire. Hashtag Lila Secret trended globally. Who is Nathan? Is Lila hiding a marriage? New PR stunt or scandal? She posted a classic PR line. "Don't believe everything you hear. I love my fans." But she looked nervous in the selfie. Eyes darting. Lip bitten. The public loves perfection, until it smells blood. Phase 3, The Truth Bomb, the Invisible Husband. I reached out to an indie doc maker I'd once mentored. She remembered me. Owed me. "Want the scoop of a lifetime?" I asked. She said yes without even hearing the pitch. We put together a 45-minute documentary using my footage, phone audio, family photos, behind-the-scenes clips, and personal narration. We called it, The Invisible Husband. Tagline, "You've seen the red carpet. Now meet the man she left behind it." I didn't make myself a hero. I showed my flaws. My silence. My hurt. But I also showed our son. And the life we had. The real one. We timed the release 48 hours before her film premiere with Carter. While the world expected love from her movie, I gave them the love she abandoned. The documentary dropped on YouTube, Vimeo, and streaming blogs simultaneously. The first 12 hours, 2 million views. 24 hours, 6.5 million. Within 3 days, 15 million. Viewers were outraged. Fan accounts turned into exposés. TikTok users posted side-by-sides of her lies. Hashtag justice for Nathan. Hashtag Noah deserves better. Hashtag she lied he loved. And for the first time in years, people said my name. Phase 4, reclaiming my son. The court documents were airtight. Trish helped me file for full custody, citing emotional endangerment, identity manipulation, and public defamation. The judge reviewed the footage of Lila instructing Noah to lie. He saw the confusion on our son's face. He heard her call me a liability to her image. Her legal team argued media manipulation, deep fakes, and edited context. The judge didn't blink. Temporary full custody awarded to Mr. Nathan Rivers, he said. The first night Noah stayed with me again, he asked quietly. Do I have to lie anymore, Daddy? I held him for 10 minutes straight before I could answer. Never again. Phase 5, letting the world finish what I started. I didn't push the fire. I just watched it burn. Lila's movie tanked. The red carpet photos were splattered with fan-made signs, "Where's the real dad?" The studio distanced themselves. Carter Quinn unfollowed her and posted a statement. I had no idea about her personal situation. I was misled like everyone else. She tried to do damage control. Interview on Morning Buzz, she cried. Called me a former friend who misunderstood his role. Said we were never legally married. Claimed I was just close to her son. I uploaded our wedding video that same day. She was in a white dress. Smiling. Laughing. Kissing me. In a Vegas chapel. Holding a tiny baby Noah after the vows. No narration. Just the footage. They called it the final nail in the coffin. Brands dropped her overnight. She was pulled from 2 upcoming projects. An endorsement deal with a cosmetics brand replaced her with a rising actress, who tweeted. Women don't lie about love. They hide the men who love them most. I didn't lift a finger. The world finally spoke for me. Phase 6, closure, the final scene. I made one last video. Just for her. Not for views. Not for followers. Just me. Holding our wedding photo. Speaking to the woman I once trusted with everything. You said the world wouldn't accept us. But it was never the world you were afraid of, Lila. It was me, someone who knew the real you. And you hated that no spotlight could outshine the truth. I didn't post it. I just emailed it to her private address. Subject line, the last take. She never responded. But 2 weeks later, I heard she fled to Italy, for a mental reset. A polite way to disappear. Epilogue. 6 months later, Noah and I walk hand in hand to his new school. He introduces me to everyone. Hi, this is my dad. He's a filmmaker. He draws pictures of me. Tells his friends I make real movies, not the fake ones. And every time he says, Dad. Freely, loudly, without fear. That's the only revenge I'll ever need. 6 months have passed since the day I walked onto that stage and dared to be seen. The world doesn't call me a liar anymore. The headlines that once mocked me now read like quiet apologies, buried beneath newer scandals and brighter stars. But I don't care about that. What matters is this: my son, Jamie, sleeps soundly at night now. No more nightmares. No more questions about who he's allowed to love in public. He's just a kid again, free to be loud, messy, and real. And me? I'm finally breathing again. I live in a smaller place now, just 2 bedrooms, one for each of us, and a kitchen that smells like burnt toast most mornings. But it's ours. We eat dinner at the table. We make popcorn on Sundays. We argue over which superhero would win in a fight. And every time Jamie calls me Dad, I remember why I fought so hard. Because for a while, I thought I'd lost him. Thought she'd stolen the one person who gave my life meaning. Vanessa never apologized. Not once. She packed her things, fled the country, and spun the narrative like a spider rebuilding her web in another corner of the world. She claimed I weaponized our son. That I exploited our marriage for attention. But the truth had already landed like a bomb. Her career didn't just fizzle, it evaporated. Every contract gone. Every endorsement dropped. Every magazine feature pulled. She tried to pivot to independent cinema, but no one wanted to fund a woman known for rewriting reality like a script. So now she hides behind pseudonyms, anonymous blog posts, and European art festivals no one attends. Carter. He released a statement about mental health and being misled. He's now a motivational speaker. Yes, really. And Derek, my so-called best friend? He sent me an email. 3 paragraphs of half-hearted regret. Said he got caught up and thought I'd understand. I didn't reply. Because if there's one thing betrayal teaches you, it's how to draw the line between silence and surrender. I don't hate them. But I won't forget them either. Forgiveness isn't always about letting people off the hook, it's about releasing the weight they hung on your shoulders. And I'm finally standing tall again. Jamie and we're building something new. We started a vlog, nothing flashy. Just us planting herbs, going on road trips, trying to cook pasta without setting off the smoke alarm. People follow not because I'm some hero. But because they see truth in us. The messy, complicated, healing kind of truth. I didn't just take revenge. I reclaimed my story. And that's what matters. Still, some nights I wonder, what if I hadn't spoken up? What if I let her lie? What if I just disappeared like she wanted? But then Jamie curls up next to me on the couch and says, "You're the bravest person I know." And suddenly, every scar makes sense. Next chapter teaser. I thought I was finally done with betrayal. That nothing could surprise me anymore. But last week, I got a call. Blocked number. Familiar voice. "I need your help," she said, breath shaky. "It's about Carter. It's worse than you think." I nearly hung up. But then she said something I wasn't ready for. "He's hurting Jamie. And I don't know who else to turn to." My blood went cold. I'd built walls around us so carefully. But now I might have to step back into the fire. Not for her. Not even for me. But for Jamie, always for Jamie. Because if there's one thing I've learned from all this. Sometimes, protecting your child means becoming the villain in someone else's story.